money, the Vatican, Roman Catholic Church, the Georgia Guidestones, and Bill Gates. What does this all have to do with Bible prophecy, end times events? Well, I'm going to get into a little bit from Ellen G. White, who talks about the end times events and what God's people will be doing at the very end of time, proclaiming the third angel's message, tying something very important in with it. So you cannot afford to miss this video. I'm going to share with you some startling things that when you see them, you will not be able to unsee them. So buckle up and get ready, because we're going to take a deep dive today. By the way, if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to this channel, and share this video so that your friends, family, coworkers, whomever can be warned of upcoming events and get ready for Jesus' soon return. Let's take a look at what Ellen G. White had to share about the papacy. She says, thus, the message of the third angel will be proclaimed as the time comes for it to be given with greatest power. The Lord will work through humble instruments. Notice, God is going to work through who? Humble instruments, who will be constrained by faith and prayer to go forth with holy zeal. Yes, humble instruments are going to be proclaiming the third angel's message through prayer, holy zeal, proclaiming also something else. Take a look. The fearful results of enforcing the observances of the church by civil authority, the inroads of spiritualism, the stealthy but rapid progress of the papal power, all will be unmasked. Wow. So as these humble instruments declare the third angel's message, and as they're humble and prayerful, they will reveal the inroads of spiritualism in society and in the churches. They'll also reveal the stealthy but rapid progress of the papacy working behind the scenes in end times movements. So this is what we're going to do. This is what I'm going to share with you. So get ready, because what you're going to see, you're not going to be able to unsee. Solomon's economic wealth was tied with the mark of the beast number. Notice, the weight of gold that came to Solomon in 1 year was 636 talents of gold. In other words, 666. And it was brought in by the merchants, the kings, and the governors. All of this gold, the mark of the beast. Hold up a second. Don't we know that in the last days, there will be a beast power having this mark, its sign of authority, and its number of its name is 666. And we know in the last days that this Babylon beast power will also, what will it also? It will enrich the merchants and the kings and so on, that they will get strong and powerful and influential through her traffic, Babylon's traffic. So let's take a look, because I believe the mother Babylon is the papacy, and that her daughters are the ones who've come out of the papacy. Let's take a look at the wealth of the papacy. 1 Timothy 6:10 says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Follow the money, you find the evil. Let's follow the money. Wealth of the Roman Catholic Church, impossible to calculate. Woo! Impossible to calculate. In other words, in layman's terms, extremely wealthy. Interesting. So we see this religious power that's very wealthy, that has influence, and that leaders like Biden and Bill Gates, who else? I'm sure you can name others, who have all gone to meet the Pope and connect with him. Pope Francis, CNA, instructs Vatican entities to move all funds to Vatican Bank by September 30. This is back in the past. It says the Vatican Bank has $8 billion with a B in assets. Insanely rich, right? I'd like to have $8 billion. That'd be cool. Look at this, Forbes. Vatican owns over 5,000 properties worldwide, it reveals in its first disclosures on its real estate holdings. Wow. Very, very wealthy. $8 billion. Extremely wealthy, impossible to calculate. Lots of real estate, not to mention all of their, their statues and very famous and infamous, may I say, artwork. Very wealthy. Christianity is known to be the religion of millionaires. We know the American dollar bill and God We Trust, it says. It says the study from nonpartisan wealth research firm, the New World Wealth, found that of the 13.1 millionaires in the world, 7.4 million, or 56.2%, identify themselves as Christian when asked about the religion. Wow, so a huge percentage of individuals who identify themselves as Christians are millionaires. Now, fantastic. God blesses those who surrender all to Him. But I wonder which group they belong to, which many groups they belong to. I mean, probably some Roman Catholics, I'm sure, right? So you can imagine that Christendom, how wealthy Christendom is. Right. Revelation 13, verses 16 through 17, talks about the second beast power, which causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. This is fascinating. And it's associated with those, no one can buy or sell unless they have the mark or name of the beast or the number of his name, 666. So, as we know, that this first beast power in Bible prophecy is the papacy. She's also described as the mother of harlots, a woman representing a church of harlotry, unfaithfulness, who has daughters. Churches, a whole bunch of churches came out of the papacy, right? Out of Roman Catholicism. So today, we are looking at Mother Babylon. We're looking at the papacy. Why? Because she plays a major role in end times events. And as she's the mother of these other churches, she influences them. And so the second beast of Revelation is this United States of America that links together with apostate Protestantism to enforce Sunday sacredness. That's what goes down in end times Bible prophecy. And those who can buy and sell, and those who are wealthy, have this mark of authority. They receive the mark of the beast. They keep Sunday holy, Sunday sacredness, in order to maintain their wealth and their holdings and to get bigger, stronger, and better. Whereas there will be a class of people in the end who keep the seventh-day Sabbath holy and who will be persecuted for doing such. And they will be, well, obviously at that time, very poor because you can't buy or sell without the mark. Look at this. Cryptocurrency system using body activity data. Look at that number. Isn't that interesting? 60606. In other words, you just get rid of the zeros, that's 666. And what this cryptocurrency system is connected to is the body activity data. But who made this? Who's the one who has this? Who has this here? It's Microsoft. Well, who is the major shareholder and leader of Microsoft? Bill Gates. What's up with Bill Gates and Roman Catholicism and this New World Order? Let's take a look. Well, if you look at the Catholic Exchange, it says Bill and Melinda Gates are controlling population and public education. This is from the Catholic Exchange. It says continuing their commitment to controlling global population growth. It's there. Read it. So if you look here, according to the National Catholic Register, Melinda Gates represents herself in the media as a practicing Catholic who has a great uncle who was a Jesuit priest and a great aunt who was an Ursuline nun who taught her to read. What? This is not Pastor Ben saying this. This is a Catholic Exchange news article. Guys, am I nuts? Come on now. Bill Gates, whose ex-wife is Melinda Gates, associated with Jesuits, the order that was set up to crush Protestantism, and they're into population control and cryptocurrency and body activity data connected with 666. The calling card of the papacy is 666. Charities pledge $19 million to Jesuit model schools. Well, who did? Well, it's the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Okay? And what's interesting, if you go to jesuitsource.org, you will see a quote from Bill Gates there. Sounds like he is part of the Catholic franchise, so to speak. Looks like he's part of it. Revelation 18:23 talks about in the last days that there would be this false system that promotes sorceries, or other words, Pharmakeia. Pharmakeia can mean like magic, sorceries, but it can also mean these concoctions, these potions, so to speak. And Bill and Melinda Gates and Bill Gates have been known for promoting a certain type of thing that goes in your arm as an injection. Population control. Jabs that go in your arm. 666. Jesuitism. Hello? Connect the dots for me. Let me know your comments down below. Am I nuts? Take a look at this. The Diplomat. The Diplomat reported, and I'm just reporting from it, okay? That's all I'm doing. It says here, Why are Indians so angry at Bill Gates? This is the Diplomat reporting. Well, he's been known to run these programs, these jab programs, Pharmakeia programs, okay, in India. And he was great. He became very infamous over there. You can read here in this post by an Indian man here. It says in 2009, an NGO named PATH, supported by who? Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, had done clinical trials of that on tribal girls, which resulted in few deaths and serious side effects on some girls. Huh. Whoa. Hold on a second here. Let me connect the dots for you. Bill Gates, associated with Jesuitism, associated with population control, runs the jab programs, Pharmakeia programs in India, which harmed girls. I said it. I'm just reporting. I'm just reporting the news. That's all I'm doing here through the prophetic lens. Look at this. Georgia Guidestones. New Georgia Encyclopedia. Look at this. These Guidestones are very interesting. They've been propped up for a while, but they were attacked. The Guidestones are positioned in this X pattern. The Guidestones' mysterious origins go back to the summer of 1979 when a man calling himself what? R.C. Christian. What? R.C. Christian. Should I repeat myself? Guidestones supported by R.C. Christian that are in like this X, like, cut out. What could possibly R.C. stand for? Last name Christian. Roman Catholic, maybe? Okay. R.C. Christian came to Alberton in search of both a granite firm to execute his design for a monument and a suitable site for the construction of it. The man admitted that Christian was a pseudonym chosen because it represented his own beliefs and those of the organization that planned and funded the project. What? Pseudonym for the organization and the beliefs that he shares that set up the Georgia Guidestones. Roman Catholic Christian organization that set it up. Now, what's the big deal about these Guidestones? Let's go. Let's take a look. The inscriptions on the Guidestones are meant for current and future generations. Okay, for all time. What's the big deal, right? Let these be Guidestones to an age of reason, it says, in Babylonian cuneiform, Egyptian hieroglyphs, Sanskrit, and classical Greek. Well, biblical languages, right? Anyways, 4 granite slabs. 4 is usually a number that represents the world, north, south, east, and west, okay? It lists 10 guides for mankind in 8 different languages. The engraved messages can be subdivided into 4 major areas: governance and establishment of a world government, population and reproduction control, the environment and humankind's relationship to nature and spirituality. So it's encapsulating pretty well everything: government, finance, world government, population, reproduction control, hello, Bill Gates, the environment and humankind's relationship to nature. So you think about spiritualism and spirituality, okay, religions, okay. Here are the following 10 principles. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Okay. Population control. Guide reproduction wisely. Population control. Unite humanity. Okay. Under what? Rule, passion, faith, tradition. Under a one world religion, one world government. Okay. Fair laws. Yeah, right. Fair laws. Population control. Yeah, right. A world court. Oh, that sounds fair. Okay, balance personal rights with social duties. Socialist kind of thing. This whole maybe socialist ideology or maybe Catholic social ideology may be part of it. Seeking harmony with the infinite. Okay, that must be God. And if it was set up by R.C. Christian, you can imagine which God that would be. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Okay. So you see the emphasis. Basically, 3 out of all the points is basically saying, hey, look, we're into ending people's lives or controlling people's birth, population control. Georgia Guidestone set up by R.C. Christian. You connect the dots, okay? Because I'm just reporting the news here, okay? This is educational, very educational. Back in 2021, CBS News reported that there was an early morning explosion that damaged the controversial Georgia monument. So it sounds like America's Stonehenge had been attacked, obviously, by some people who knew what it was all about and did not want that there. Maybe because they were exposed, right? Who knows, right? People who didn't like it, maybe people who didn't want it exposed anymore. Hey, right. When you look at this, it says the Catholic Bank owned pill shares, CNA. Okay, CNA, Catholic News Agency. Vatican accused of investing in companies making the morning after pill. The morning after pill, the pill you take when you think you got pregnant so that you could end or abort that, population control, right? I don't know. I don't know how crazy I sound right now, but I'm just reading the news. That's all. Look at this. New York, the street. When you read it here, it says in the 1960s, Italian media uncovered evidence that the Vatican had invested in what else? In these pharmaceutical companies, okay, that made the birth control pills, military weapons manufacturing, okay? And we know there's some therapeutics and life-saving, they say life-saving therapeutics that are, whose foundation is a toxic venom. All right, when you look at the world today, you think, well, holy moly, like, wow. I'm just sharing with you the news. I mean, if you don't like it, then I guess you don't like the news. And I guess you don't like it, you don't like Bible prophecy, okay? Because the reality is, that is reality, okay? We have population control connected with Roman Catholicism, Jesuitism, Bill and Melinda Gates, the Georgia Guidestones connected with R.C. Christian, that very church, Roman Catholic Church, investing in weapons manufacturing and the morning after pill pharmaceutical companies, Pharmakeia. Hello, am I nuts? Let me know in the comment section down below. Our prescription drugs kill us in large numbers. That's what PubMed says. And when you look at also the Institute for Natural Health, you see that prescription drugs are now the fourth leading cause of death. And it says, when you read the PubMed and you read these articles, you see a lot of these deaths from them are sometimes caused even when the drug is properly prescribed. Note, properly prescribed. That means that there was no accident, right? You got to really think about that, right? This is incredible stuff. So there's people who are going to be proclaiming the third angel's message, and we better get ready because the end times, we're living in the end times, I tell you, because you see this news, you see the facts, and you've got to make a choice now. You've got to make a choice for God right now and surrender everything to Jesus. Your very eternal life hangs upon it. Do not accept the mark of the beast. Do not follow the papacy and its mark of authority, Sunday sacredness. They say that on their authority, the church's authority, they changed the solemnity of the day from Saturday to Sunday. That is wrong. The Bible does not support that at all, not one iota. Jesus even kept the Sabbath from sunset Friday to sunset Saturday. We know that Jesus rested in his tomb and he rose early the first day. Jesus in his life, Jesus in his death, Jesus' disciples and female followers, we know they all kept the Sabbath holy. We have got to get right with God now. Friend, may God bless you and keep you until we study again. Wake up, get ready, because time is running out. God bless.